Peace, everybody. Welcome to Capital Combat. Name says it all. I'm Hakeem Branch, and today I don't really have any fight stuff for you. Um, you guys know that watch the channel a lot. That Rob and I usually do not go into the the gossip part of boxing. You know, we don't talk about who's scared of who and uh, other things like that. We pretty much break down the fights. But we did do a video recently where we talked about the fallout between the Deontay Wilder Alexander Povetkin fight due to Povetkin testing positive for a performance enhancing drug. Now, that video is up. It's been up for a couple weeks. The fight fell apart probably about 2 to 3 weeks ago. So if you haven't seen that, check that out. This is a continuation of that video. The reason why is I need you guys' help. I'm having trouble understanding what's going on here. Now, as far as what's been reported, Alexander Povetkin tested positive for a substance known as meldonium, and it was only recently banned, which honestly is irrelevant to the point. It was illegal. He tested positive for it. It was not a significant amount, but what happened was the WBC decided to call off the fight. Now, the thing that I'm confused about is the backlash that has come from the calling off of the fight. For some reason, there is a large contingent of people that are blaming Deontay Wilder for this. I'm not understanding the logic of that. How is it that Alexander Povetkin can test positive for a illegal substance? The WBC decides to call the fight off, and it's somehow Deontay Wilder's fault that the fight didn't happen. How is that possible? I need you guys to explain this to me. Seriously. And before I go any further, if you are going to try to explain this to me, here's some things that we do not want to happen. One, putting down either of the fighters. Just because you don't like one of the other fighters does not mean you're going to come on and call them words like pussies and bitches and anything of that matter. You're not going to screw up any of their names like I've seen online. People are calling Povetkin Pedveckin now. We're not entertaining that stuff. Neither Rob nor I are going to entertain that. But seriously, I do need to know, how is it that people are upset with Deontay Wilder when he really had nothing to do with this at all? And people are saying that Wilder's ducking Povetkin and he's scared, and then even the team of Povetkin are saying outlandish things like, oh, well, he shouldn't expect to get paid. Duh. We all know that if the fight doesn't happen, nobody gets paid. There's no reason for them to say that. And then Povetkin put out a statement saying that he thinks that, Wilder had something to do with this, or he's really happy that it got called off because he didn't want to do the fight in the first place. Well, if he did not test positive for a banned substance, he would have had to fight. So, once again, that's his fault. Right? I mean, that seems logical to me. But for some reason, that is not how it's being perceived in the usual boxing out there in the boxing world. And like I said, I usually try to ignore this kind of stuff because opinions are like a-holes. I mean, including mine, which is why I'm opening it up to you guys to explain this to me. I really don't get it. What I don't get the mix up here. Like, why is Deontay Wilder getting flack for something that he had no part of? He was overseas getting ready to head to Russia. And honestly, as Rob and I said in our video initially addressing the topic, one, we have to wait for the WBC's full investigation to come out before we can really draw any concrete conclusions. And two, we felt that Povetkin was going to easily win this fight. There was no reason for any hitches to go along for the fight to be called off. And then there's the whole results thing, which we talked about in that video, where he was testing negatively, and then at a later test he tested positive for a substance that he claims he had not taken since September. Now, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not an expert on drugs, so this is another thing that someone's going to have to help me out on, because I've never heard of a substance not being taken for over 6 months, almost 6 months. September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. And then it mysteriously pops back up. This one could be one of those substances. I don't know. But that's why I need your help. Someone explain this to me. How is it that it's Wilder's fault that Alexander Povetkin tested positive and the WBC called off the fight? And the whole testing thing. Well, the WBC is going to come out with that, so we're just going to wait on that. But really, that was it. I'm just trying to figure this out. And also, if you respond to this video and you're putting down, say, Deontay Wilder, and your avatar is of another fighter, your argument is invalid. You can't claim that you're unbiased or neutral or calling it down the middle when you clearly have a clear allegiance to someone else. So that's that. That's really it, guys. Please let me know why. Somebody answer these questions for me. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.